Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. First of all, I'm a little bit under the weather today, so if my energy is a bit low, just bear with me here tonight. So anyway, as you guys know, the Knicks are now up 3-1 in the NBA Finals, and they're looking to close out this series in San Antonio on Saturday against the San Antonio Spurs. They came back from the biggest deficit, in NBA history by coming back and beating the San Antonio Spurs while being in a 29-point hole. So they came back, they beat them, and everyone is talking about it, and there's a whole bunch of side stories and all of that. But going into this series, you know, you've seen a lot of excitement from people out there, but there's one particular guy that a lot of people have been skeptical of his excitement for the New York Knicks, and that person is, believe it or not, New York native Stephen A. Smith. As you guys know, early in the year, Stephen A. Smith had a back and forth with one of the Knicks players, essentially calling him like a fake fan. I think it was Jalen Brunson, not Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart. There was another point where Stephen A. could be seen not even remembering the correct names of the players on the New York Knicks roster. So ever since the Knicks have now gone up 3-1, you've seen them on TV shouting and screaming. And I've said I've kind of been a little bit skeptical of Stephen A. Smith being a real Knicks fan. But there was a video that I came across yesterday that exposed Stephen A. Smith because he's now this huge OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson fan. But there was a video that exposed him about a year or so ago where he was actually demanding that the Knicks trade Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby, that how he thought they weren't good enough players. And I'm like, the video evidence is always available. So what we want to do now is want to play the footage here, the video. I want you guys to watch it. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a look at this video here.
All right, time for a quick take. Stephen A., your Knicks making money moves. New York acquired 3-and-D specialist OG Anunoby and two other players from the Raptors in exchange for R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and a 2024 second-round pick. S.A., talk to me. You like the trade?
I'm not moved. Let me say this, Shay. And it doesn't improve their chances, as far as I'm concerned, to beat Boston or Milwaukee because of their inability to score with those guys. Right. Again, it doesn't make them worse. It makes them better defensively without question. Right. But it's not what I think was needed most. I don't want to hear about DeJounte Murray. All right, go out and get Donovan Mitchell. You got 8 first-round picks available to you. Use a couple, damn it. Get him.
I'm tired, y'all. I'm so tired. I slept 2 hours last night. 2 damn hours of tossing and turning. Of staring at my ceiling. On the night at the NBA draft was held in New York City, Barclays Center. A night in which the New York Knicks had the 11th overall pick in the NBA draft with a ton of holes to fill, with shooters and point guards and rim protectors all over the board. My New York Knicks came away with nothing. Nothing at all. Trading their first round pick away. And for what? To go all in on clearing cap space in hopes of signing Jalen Brunson?
So you saw that there. Yeah, that doesn't look particularly good. It doesn't look particularly good. Some people are saying that Stephen A. Smith is using this moment to be opportunistic, to say he's a Knicks fan because he just happens to be from New York City. And that's what people have been speculating. Not just that, but even Knicks fans themselves. I've seen a whole bunch of posts where Knicks fans are like, bro, you're not a real Knicks fan. And then recently, Stephen A. Smith said that he wants credit for the Knicks' run to the finals because after the rant that he did on television, the Knicks saw that and they got like inspired. And it shook them and it woke them up to now all of a sudden start playing inspired basketball to try to go out there and win an NBA championship, which is absolutely laughable to think that the New York Knicks needed a kick in the butt from Stephen A. Smith on ESPN First Take in order to go out there and play. I don't even think the players like him. I don't even think they like him at all. I don't even think the Knicks fans are even checking for Stephen A. Smith like that. I just think like he's just a dude that's just making noise and wanting people to pay attention to him. Ain't nobody checking for him like they checking for Spike Lee, or they checking for what do you call it, or some of the other celebrities in New York. And another reason why people don't think that Stephen A. don't take him seriously is because he never talks about wanting to be in New York. You know, Stephen A., he always talks about, man, if I have a choice, I'd rather be in LA or Miami. He never talks about New York. Never talks about New York. It's always those two cities. Why? Because I guess it looks nice and it has beautiful girls there or whatever. But now all of a sudden, when the opportunity is there in front of you, you now want to start beating your chest and screaming purple and blue. What is it? Orange and blue skies and all of that. And all people are not falling for it. And all of this praise that you have for Brunson and all of that, like, bro, you were talking about, like, why did they get him? You were talking about, like, why did they get Jalen Brunson? Now all of a sudden you're his biggest fan, and you got some people out there, I don't know if he said it, but some people talking about OG Anunoby, excuse me, should be the finals MVP. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you don't keep it a bean for a long enough time. Yeah, I mean, people start doing their research. People start pulling up old videos of you out there looking crazy, you know, talking this and talking that. That looks crazy, bro. For as hyped as you are, you're talking about Jalen Brunson and all of this. The fact that you was even like questioning the fact of him being a Knick, it looks crazy. It looks absolutely crazy. And I'm sure Jalen Brunson and some of them Knicks players heard some of this commentary. And they were like, all right, cool. And they were like, this is why we're not checking for you. I can certainly guarantee you they probably saw that footage and were like, okay, so this dude is not with us. He can perform as much as he wants for the cameras, and I think some of it is performative. But in reality, I don't think they checking for him like that, man. You know, I could be wrong, but I just don't think that these Knicks players is rock. I don't even think the fans is like taking Stephen A. Smith as a factor or something to talk about at all. If I'm being honest with you, I don't even think they care what his opinions are on these things as they're happening. Straight into this topic here. So yesterday, we did a show that was based on a story featuring ESPN's Monica McNutt. So as you guys know, the number one place to be right now is the NBA Finals, especially in New York City, right? So we did a show because she was going viral and some people were coming at her for some comments that she made. So I'm going to quickly read from this TMZ report. It says, Taylor Swift NBA reporter caught dissing singer on hot mic. She's not even a Knicks fan. It says Taylor Swift's arrival in Game 4 of the NBA Finals got immediate reaction from Knicks radio booth, and it wasn't exactly a warm VIP welcome. New York's Knicks lead radio analyst Monica McNutt was caught on a hot mic as a member of the broadcast team tried to figure out whether the pop star had made it to the arena. However, McNutt seemingly expressed she wasn't too happy to see Taylor Swift amongst the hype crowd. So take a listen to take a look at the original video of what she said here. It's about a 30-second video, something like that. Take a look at that there.
Is that Taylor Swift down there?
No, I think Gray was just saying her name for no reason to distract me.
No, that's her.
Yeah, but where?
With that long ponytail. Ain't that her in the blue? Yeah, I literally was like, that's her.
I don't know if I believe you.
Wow, look at Tyler go. You don't even know where you're looking. Yeah, sure. She's not a Knicks fan.
Right
Get
now.
out of here, girl.
Fantastic. So you saw that. So we did a show about this yesterday, and various people weighed in. Even Dave Portnoy weighed in, and a lot of people were trying to make it seem like it was a race thing. Like, oh, she was upset that Taylor Swift came to the game because, you know, she didn't like a successful white woman. That's what some successful white woman. I'm like, this is nonsense. I never heard her say anything like this about all the other white celebrities that are always there supporting the Knicks. So I'm like, that argument falls flat on its face. But nevertheless, there was a lot of public pressure. And later on in the day, I began to wonder to myself, I said, I wonder if Taylor Swift would be, if Monica McNutt will be forced to give a public apology. Why? Because Taylor Swift has a huge fan base. She simply does. She has a very huge fan base. In certain extent, she's like America's sweetheart. You know, she has a lot of supporters. She brings a lot of eyeballs. And I'm sure that the ESPN wouldn't want one of their analysts alienating the fans of Taylor Swift, because it helps with the ratings. She brings in more eyeballs. They make more money, et cetera, et cetera. And as it turned out, she actually did put out a public apology on video. So TMZ caught up with Monica McNutt in New York, and she essentially issued a public apology that we're about to play for you. And it even says on the clip, it says, exclusive, Knicks radio host Monica McNutt apologizes to Taylor Swift for NBA Finals comment. Take a look at the apology video here.
So we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Nothing crazy, but we got to ask you. Okay, so I read some of your comments, and they are coming for you in the comments.
Swifties, I appreciate your passion. I said what I said. And here's the deal. If I'm wrong, I am wrong, apparently, because she's got an OG Amari Stoudemire jersey.
Only in New York. Hold on 1 second. Why New York got it? Only in my city. Go ahead.
Right. I misspoke. I did not know. But here's the deal. Context, I literally just did a piece on Celebrity Row. I've been with this organization for 5 years. I know these folks. Ben Stiller, his wife, Christine, like Spike Lee, Fat Joe. Like, I had not seen her here this year or last year. And we just saw her in Cleveland with her fiance. Obviously, Travis supports the Cavs. She didn't have one of these Knicks paraphernalia. So I did not know of her Knicks loyalty. But shout out to T Swift. Like, we could be united in orange and blue. Like, it's fine.
Okay, I love that. So you're standing on it.
I mean, I did not know. I apologize if I'm wrong, and apparently I'm wrong, and that's fine, but I did not know, because we've seen, come on now, every celebrity that's a Knicks fan been in the building this year.
Timothy Chalamet.
Come on. So, it's all good.
Now, we got to put it out there. So you said that she has a OG jersey.
There are pictures of the Amari Stoudemire era. That's where the origin story is. So shout out to her, because that means she's been in the trenches. I had just not seen her. But I'm wrong. Do you think, Taylor?
So we got to ask, too, did anyone step to you at the light?
No. Did you see how the way that game ended? Nobody cared about this at all.
So you're thinking, okay, it's not that big of a deal. Let's move on.
I knew it was a big deal on the internet, but I was too busy enjoying the actual game, because I got it like that.
Great. So you heard what she had to say. I'll just read a few comments of some people that reacted under it. This video has been seen about almost 1 million times. One person said, Monica McNutt should not be apologizing, but she should be fired. No one gives a damn about how she feels about anything, because she seems to be an ignorant woman. Oh, God. Anyway. Who has a big mouth. She is not paid to offer her political analysis. What the fuck? I knew it. I knew it. Of course. Of course. It's these people. Of course this just has to be politicized. It just had to be. Where in the video that we played was it what do you call it? Was it was politics implied? She just said, why is she here? But these people are trying to make it about politics and race. Of course, that's what she's not paid to. How is it a political analysis when we're talking about a damn basketball game? She's just talking about her being a fake Knicks fan. She's from Pennsylvania. That's all. Like, this is just crazy. I'll read a few other comments. One person said, glad that we have Monica McNutt to gatekeep wrongly Knicks fandom. Another person said, only New York where there's ambulances everywhere. I think someone's running to the video. And another guy said, why do black people hate on Taylor Swift so much? Anyway, what are my thoughts about this? I think it's a damn shame that this conversation is being reduced all the way down to race. And the saddest part is, I feel like the people that are making it about race are the ones that complain about race being about everything. Why are you bringing race into this? She just made the comment about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is white, but then there are other white celebrities that she didn't make this comment about. So then how does it work? How do you guys reconcile that? How do you reconcile that? How do you make that point stick? You're saying it's about race, but then if I give you another example of whites that she didn't go after, then how, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Firstly. Secondly, if we want to talk about race, if we want to talk about politics, then you can talk about James Dolan and the president making it about politics. Because when a sitting president decides to come to an NBA Finals game, yes, he's from New York and all of that, but we live on Earth. And Trump is a very polarizing president. So, of course, politics are going to be injected. So why don't you mention that as well? And I thought there should be this separation between sports and politics. That no longer exists anymore. Like, all of those things have just been done away with. No, we can, like, those things don't even matter. Things that used to matter before, a lot of the people that were against some of these things, now they're all for it. It just doesn't make any bloody sense to me. But of course, I knew she was going to apologize because Taylor Swift has a huge following. I think from a business standpoint, she had to. Because if it came down, to between ESPN picking between Monica McNutt and Taylor Swift, they're going to pick Taylor Swift 1,000 out of 1,000 times. I mean, those are the bloody facts. But I also want to say this, though, for these clowns and idiots that are trying to make this thing about race. I can distinctively remember black and white people, men, that were pissed off when the NFL was always showing Taylor Swift at every single game. So how do you explain that, you freaking jackass? How do you explain that, jackasses? How do you explain that? I remember when NFL fans were complaining, why do they keep showing Taylor Swift? Well, come on, like, it's enough. We're tired of her. This is what NFL fans were saying. White men and black men were saying that. So where is this whole race talk? You guys are idiots. Idiots. Always looking for where you can inject some bull. And this is a moment that you found. Like as if most of these people saying this now weren't complaining about Taylor Swift when the NFL was plastering her all over their TV screens every other day. Like, what are we talking about here? Are you kidding? Knock it off with this bull. Knock it off with this nonsense, please. You guys are not fooling anyone but Boo Boo the Fool. Like, enough with this nonsense and this stupidity. Oh, it's about race and she doesn't like her politics. Knock it the off. I don't even know Taylor Swift's politics, to be frank with you, nor do I care to know her politics. But I remember NFL fans complaining about seeing Taylor Swift all the damn time. But now all of a sudden, Taylor Swift can't be mentioned. She put herself in a damn sporting event. So as you guys know, the San Antonio Spurs lost Game 4 of the NBA Finals after blowing a 29-point lead, putting themselves in a 3-1 deficit, going into Game 5 in San Antonio, where they face potential elimination. And at the end of that game, everyone reacted to it. We spoke about De'Aaron Fox. We spoke about Victor Wembanyama. We spoke about the head coach. We spoke about the head coach for the Spurs, Mitch Robinson. So everyone has kind of weighed in on it. But there's a particular segment of NBA fans that I've been paying close attention to, and those are LeBron fans. Because LeBron fans have been in the corner kind of. So LeBron fans have like a thing that they have certain things that they're trying to pull off here. One thing is that they hope that Victor loses because, well, that can kind of, stop him from this being on the GOAT trajectory. So you have that there. But I've kind of got at them like, but if he loses, that's his legacy because he lost in the finals, something that LeBron did. So that should work for him. So you have that aspect there. Then you have some of them that want the Knicks to lose, like Nick Wright, who we're going to get to momentarily here, because then he's also put out the idea of LeBron James going to go join the Knicks. So if they lose, he can go join them and then be like, oh, LeBron is the reason why they won. That you have all of that going on there as well. So anyway, I came across a video of Nick Wright on his podcast where he was talking about the San Antonio Spurs, but more specifically, Victor Wembanyama. And he was saying that Victor Wembanyama should be the main person that should take the blame for the collapse of Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Take a look at this footage here.
Aaron Fox screwed up. He had some bad turnovers. The layup was bad. Obviously, he is the veteran leader, the highest paid guy on the team, and should have been better. But he is a supporting actor in the collapse. The main character of the San Antonio Spurs collapse is the only guy it can be. The guy who's supposed to be the best player in the world. And in the second half of that game, after trash talking and what the kids would call aura farming and letting everyone know how in their head he was, he went 3 for 14, looked absolutely winded, and in a fourth quarter where Stephon Castle, who's younger than him, went 8 for 8 from the free throw line. And Dylan Harper, who's younger than him, went 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He went 1 for 4, including 2 misses in the final 100 seconds, up 1 of a finals game.
That doesn't circle back to Mitch at all?
How
like
so?
with Wemby being in the game and being gassed, like they had that huge lead. He could have taken some rest, and there were opportunities throughout the game for him to get rest, and he didn't. And at the end, like he ended up tired.
Absolutely accurate. That's accurate. It is crazy that Mitch Johnson didn't find him more than 3 in the first half. He played 21 of 24 minutes. They were up at halftime 27 points. That seems crazy. In the third quarter, he played 11 of 12 minutes. They were up 29 at one point in that quarter. That seems crazy. And in the fourth quarter, obviously, he played the whole time, even though they were up 20 with 9.5 minutes left. That also, that was a screw up by the coach. I understand that. But fatigue is not why he missed those free throws. He missed those free throws. I mean, I'm sure maybe it contributed. But he got tight. And that second free throw didn't even look like his form. Like he let the ball go weird, and then it looked, Wilds pointed this out and he was right. It looked a lot like how he shot the potential game-winning jump shot where he fell and was in game 2. And he's just kind of like hoping for it to go in.
Fantastic. So you heard Nick Wright saying that Victor Wembanyama should be the main person that should be blamed for all of this. But then I began to think back. I'm like, wait a minute. I know Nick Wright. Not personally, but I know him. Nick Wright is blaming Victor Wembanyama for losing in the finals. And if he loses, I'm sure he potentially blame him. But then has always made arguments for why LeBron is the GOAT and made excuses for him losing in like 2007 and losing in the finals. I'm like, how does this work? This makes no sense. Now, for those of you who probably don't remember this, we actually have some video of him on Colin Cowherd's show defending LeBron James's finals losses. So what I want to do is I want to play this video for you guys here of Nick Wright on the Herd. I want you guys to take a look at that, and then we'll come back and continue on the show. Take a look.
LeBron James now is saying publicly, yeah, I'm looking at MJ. I'm looking at Jordan. I think about it. It's a goal of mine.
Right.
And you're okay with it.
What else should he look at? That's the only mountain left to climb. And if we're being fair about LeBron, if we just stack up both of their careers at this age, 3 rings to 3 rings, 4 MVPs for LeBron to 3 for Jordan at age 31. LeBron more points, rebounds, assists. LeBron 7 times in the finals, Jordan 3 times in the finals at this age, and people dismiss it. This is an interesting thought exercise. If you're driving around in your car listening right now, if LeBron were 3-0 in the finals and said, I want to be Michael, you probably would say, okay, yeah, okay. I am more willing to entertain that idea if he were 3-0, which just means we're penalizing him for advancing in the playoffs.
Of course.
Like, if the year he lost to the Spurs in 2007, if the Pistons had knocked him out, if the year they lost to the Mavericks, if the Celtics had knocked him out, if the year they lost to the Spurs, if they had been knocked out in the Eastern Conference semifinals or Eastern Conference finals and he were 3-0, then people would say, okay, yeah, then maybe you can be Michael. The idea that he's penalized for making the finals a bunch of times is absurd. So if LeBron finishes his career with, call it 5 rings and 11 appearances, you want to make the argument that that's better than 6 rings and 6 appearances? You certainly can make it. I mean, Magic Johnson, I don't know what's more impressive about Magic, that he won it 5 times or that he got there 9 times.
Michael was favored in every finals. LeBron's been an underdog in 5 of 6.
And I hear people say, well, the East is so weak, the East is so weak. It is now a decade that LeBron's dominated the East.
That's right.
And it's not so much, I understand the Western Conference is the stronger conference, but the reason we think the East is a foregone conclusion is because of LeBron. Like, if LeBron's not there, then we're like, oh, wow, the East, it's up for grabs. People act like it is a cakewalk, but it's because LeBron's so great. You go, he's in Cleveland, they're the best team in the East. He goes to Miami, they're the worst team. He goes from Miami to Cleveland. Miami doesn't make the playoffs. Cleveland's the best team. I mean, who else is LeBron supposed to chase? I'm not saying he's necessarily going to get there, but at this age of his life, at age 31, he's done more than Michael did at age 31. And people say, well, Jordan retired for 2 years. No, he didn't. Jordan retired for a year and a half, came back, was good enough to score 55 in the Garden 3 games in, and then got his ass kicked by the Orlando Magic. And to get knocked out when people are like, oh, they would have won 8 in a row. What do you mean they would have won 8 in a row? Michael Jordan played in those games. I know the NBA's burned the tapes, but it happened. And so let's say, if we're just recreating history, let's say Jordan was brilliant in that Magic Bulls series. He wasn't, but let's say he was. And they beat the Magic. And then Akeem and the Rockets beat the Bulls. To me, that would have been more impressive than what happened. Oh, wow. How can people make the argument that 6 for 6 is this amazing thing as opposed to 6 for 7? What you're saying is losing to the Magic was more impressive than beating them and then losing in the next round. It's a logical fallacy, and it frustrates me.
So you saw that. So while I was preparing these notes, Mitch that works with us here, he began to kind of send me some bits of information that I frankly wasn't aware of and began to really make me think. And he pointed out some things to me in our group chat that made me say, wait a minute here, there's another angle to this. So he first said that he pointed out the fact that De'Aaron Fox and Mitch Johnson are clutch clients. Now, I didn't know that the coach, Mitch Johnson, was a clutch client. Now, why is that important? We all know that the donkey of the night was De'Aaron Fox. But by Nick Wright deflecting blame from those guys and putting it on Wemby, then it protects clutch clients. And for those of you who don't know, Nick Wright is represented by Clutch Sports. So he would essentially be doing a solid for the agency that represents him. So there may be more at play here beyond the fact of just defending LeBron James for losing. Attacking Victor Wembanyama for losing while defending LeBron James for losing as well. And in Nick Wright's mind and LeBron fans' minds, that doesn't work against him. But in the case of Victor, it works against him, which is why the fan base as a whole is just a bunch of court gestures. It's a bunch of clowns, right? But then the aspect of De'Aaron Fox, who we all know was making one boneheaded play after the other, of not putting the majority of the blame on him and the coach, and then you think about the Clutch Sports ties, well, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, and it really makes you think like, damn, this is a lot deeper than many of us realize that it is. It's a lot deeper. Now, of course, Nick Wright would, I'm not going to do that. I'm not, never do that. Oh, don't do that. I would never say that. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but you can't help but think about stuff like that when that's the reality.